1, 2, 3,
My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure. But does she really wanna, but can't stand to see me walk out the door? Don't try to fight the feeling, cause the thought alone is killing me right now. Thank God for mom and dad for sticking two together, cause we don't know how.
All right. Hello, all you sports fans out there in podcast land, and welcome once again to another edition of Babbling Brooks, your new favorite podcast, where I, your host Brooks, try to bring you some of today's sports news with just a little twist of my point of view. Hope everyone has had a terrific Thursday, a wonderful week so far. My weekend is coming to a close. It's my Sunday, as it would be, or whatever, however you want to phrase it. But definitely excited to be a cool night. Gonna go up to see Fourth Rope presents Hills Have Eyes For. That's Hills with two E's, not two L's. Talking about bad guys in wrestling, bad guys in hip hop. West Side Gun putting it all together. It looks like it's going to be a really cool event. The producer, Conductor Williams, got a set going on, as well as Big Crit. Definitely excited to see Big Crit. I've wanted to see Big Crit for a while. Just years ago, it just never really worked out. Looking forward, some great songs by him. Pick Yourself Up, 100, Energy. Like a lot of options he could be throwing out there. I was listening to one of my favorite songs by Big Crit the other day, The Vent. Hadn't listened to it in a while. I was like, damn, how did this fall out of the rotation? Of course, today's episode, though, mostly because I am excited about that. Oh, yeah, and Onyx. I did not mention Onyx going to be there. Hardy Boys are one of the group's tag teams wrestling in a three-way ladder match, so that'll be cool. They're like the only wrestler at this event that's like goes back to like my childhood watching wrestling. All the other matches look really cool. Still haven't seen anything announced about featuring their champion, Zilla Fatu, but he just might not be able to make it for this one. I would assume that would mean there'll be another one coming up soon, or he will defend that Fourth Rope title belt. Kind of hoping to see. I think he's going to end up showing up in one way or another. Maybe he's got that, was it Moose that he beat, is got a big match where he is seeking revenge for some interference in that match. So looking forward to that night tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be tired at work tomorrow, but hey, it's going to be worth it. At least I don't drink anymore, so I don't have to worry about hangovers. Like, it's not the type of event I could have done in the past when I had to work like at 8 in the morning. Like, because I would have been getting shit-faced drunk until midnight, or 11 o'clock at least. I got to think this thing is going to go till 10 or 11 at the latest. But like, that would have been late enough to incur a terrible hangover the night before. It just would have been. But now I don't drink, so just dealing with being tired, a lot different than, especially now, it's bad. The hangovers now, 7 years into my sobriety, as I'm 40 years old. Like, 40-year-old hangovers, I feel like they were getting kind of shitty 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And I think they'd be worse now. But worse now, not how I'm feeling after watching the Hawks take down the New York Knicks live last night in Madison Square Garden, like as it was happening live, not like in person live. I ain't got that kind of bucks, where I could just fly up to New York City, buy tickets for the Garden. That would be great. I did go to New York City twice in college, had not been back since, not because of any sort of aversion, because it hadn't worked out. Had a friend on my hall that was from New York back in the day. That one time he drove us around up there. Then we did a group of us, went out to eat Little Italy, all that shit. It was a good time. Different experience. Get to see the Village on Halloween as a Christian college student. But that's a whole other story. Now, like, none of that would shock me. And I'm like, oh, whatever. That's lame. That's tame. But back then, I was like, whoa, that's interesting. I haven't seen that before. That's not the kind of thing. That's not the Liberty Way, as we used to say. That there was always jokes about the Liberty Way. And, one time I had a C-Lab poster I bought at some sort of, like, on college like poster selling event. And the C-Lab poster had Debbie in a bikini, and that was against the Liberty way. So my RA colored in with red, gave her like a red pantsuit pretty much. So flashback to Liberty days. But anyway, y'all aren't here to hear me talk about Liberty Day. We're here to talk about the Atlanta Hawks getting the aforementioned victory last night, going to 14-12. That's right, 2 games over 500. It feels like we've either been 1 game above 500 or below 500 or at 500 exactly ever since we went to the conference finals in 2021. It just feels like that's been like the mid-purgatory of being a Hawks fan in that time. But something different about this year's team, the way things coming together. Really, I hate seeing DeJounte Murray go. I especially hate seeing him get hurt. But now it looks like he's doing pretty good there. I think he'll be doing fine in New Orleans when it's a healthy stretch there. But it just wasn't working out. Wasn't really DeJounte's fault. It's just sometimes with basketball, it just doesn't work out. With any sport, with life, that shit happens. Sometimes people aren't compatible. And it wasn't really the word compatible. It's just that him and Trae Young both kind of just, need to be like the focal point to a certain degree. As a point guard, that's how it is. It's tough to have 2 point guards. I mean, in today's NBA, got positionless basketball to a certain extent. So you got forwards, they can handle the ball pretty damn well. Like everybody on the team at any position nowadays can have handles. You look at Joker, what he can do as a center. Jalen Johnson, I mean, he's some pretty nice stats. Passes the ball, can handle the ball pretty damn well for a power forward. Or forward, can actually play center as well. You look at LeBron James, point forward extraordinaire. But for the most part, like when it comes to having a point guard, you like to have one. It's good to have one. And Trae and DeJounte were both point guards. So it just kind of clashed. And Trae Young this year, I honestly thought he would have higher offensive stats this year. He's been not in the 30s as much as I would have anticipated. But the way he is distributing that rock down on these corners, the way he is passing that ball with such precision, is a beautiful thing to watch. It's just great because it's almost like Trae. Yeah, he likes stats and assists are stats, but a lot of guys, the assists are just supplement to the main thing they want you to see them doing is putting up points, scoring baskets, and Trae Young does plenty of that. But I just really appreciate he's not a selfish dude. He wants to make sure his teammates are eating, and then it's like he kind of falls back on his shot after everybody else gets going. And it makes it easier for him to score number one because if he keeps passing and keep passing it, eventually you're going to think, I guess he's just going to pass it. He's not going to hold on to it, and that's when he'll hit you. That's when he'll get that separation and hit that dagger 3. And his team is just a lot of fun to watch as they've meshed more and more as time goes on. The way they were fighting so hard and putting up some very admirable efforts of winning some games, even when they were down. DeAndre Hunter and Bogey coming off the bench, but the games we've been getting out of DeAndre Hunter lately, it's been incredible. He had 24 points in this one, leading scorer for the Hawks. And even though he's coming off the bench, he's really playing starters minutes. Most games, he's playing more minutes than Ricochet, especially in this game where Ricochet had his lowest point total of his very young NBA career. Only 2 points in this one, 0 of 4 from downtown. Only ended up playing 17 minutes. I think a lot of that, it just wasn't his night, which is fine. It's going to happen. Last time we played the Knicks down at home in Atlanta, Ricochet had the best scoring output of his career, 33 points. Hasn't really been able to come too close to that. But I mean, he's 19. He's learning. The main thing with him right now is defense, hustle. You want to see that because you can build on the rest of it. The shooting will come. We've seen that he has those nights where he can definitely shoot. Just you're gonna have some cold nights. I mean, Bogey didn't shoot great either. The Hawks were shooting terribly from 3. They didn't even hit their first 3 till it was in near the end of the first half when Bogey hit his only 3-point shot. He was 1 of 7 in this game. So DeAndre Hunter, I was trying to bring up his recent games because this is a one-off. In the past, it feels like he'll have the occasional game where he has goes off and really hits it, really gets it going. The occasional 20-some point game. But this year, that's become more like the regular thing. It's more like we get the occasional quiet game from DeAndre Hunter. Every game he's played in December so far, all 5 games, he's scored at least 20. 2 20-point games, 22-point game, 24 in this one, 26 that overtime win against the Lakers. And not just that, he's finding that, specifically finding that 3-point shot. 4 of 5 from downtown today. So that's 80%. Like, on a night when the team overall did not shoot very well, it was like 30 or 41% overall for the Hawks, 43% overall for the Knicks. And it was much worse. In the first quarter, the first half, it was down like 30% at times. Like, the Hawks were just not able to hit shots early on. Did not look like a very promising start. But yeah, DeJounte Murray, so that's not just the 5 games. And then last month, 18 points, 23 points, 26 points. So he's 2 points away in that 18-point game against the Hornets from having like 8 straight games with 20-plus points. 20 or more points in those games coming off the bench. And it's just, one thing is just benefiting from the fact that you're going against a lot of times, at least in in his first half minutes, he's going against the other team's reserves. It's working in his favor. And I think it's going to translate to overall a better game because you look, he's hitting those shots later when you've got the starters in, when he's playing those starter minutes later on. Like in this game, his plus-minus, +10. Only Hawk with a better plus-minus in this contest was Jalen Johnson, who wasn't the leading scorer. Was the 3rd leading scorer behind 24 from DeAndre, 22 points from Trae Young. But Jalen Johnson with a monster double-double, coming up with a lot of, some nice slams, some great defense. Had 2 steals and 2 blocks in this game to go with 7 assists and 15 rebounds, plus those 21 points. When he was on the court, the team was plus 16. So making a clear difference. Like at this point, not only I think Jalen Johnson should be an all-star, definitely should be in the running for most improved player. I said that last year, and it kind of got derailed with injuries. But Jalen Johnson, I'm knocking on wood there, being healthy whole season, or at least most of his season, is going to be big for him. Like the numbers he's putting up. Talked about DeAndre Hunter, 5 games in a row with 20-plus points. Jalen Johnson is doing pretty damn good himself too. You look at this, this month so far, missed 1 game, so he's only played 4 games this month. Did have a 12-point game, so he's not as consistently high scoring as DeAndre, but almost every game, he's getting double digits in something. Like going back a lot of games, like he's either double digits in points or double digit in rebounds or both. More and more double-doubles. In another game where he wasn't too damn far off from a triple-double. You talk about 3 more assists, that's it. And this dude would have had a triple-double with 2 blocks and 2 assists. The worst point total he's had this year was 14 points. Since going back November. He had a couple shitty games, like 7 points and 11 points the first few games of the year. But since he had 14 points in October, it's like all but 1 game he's had at least 18. 2 games. It was the Lakers game too. So I'm trying to make up stats as I go. It's a tough thing to do sometimes. That's why you should take notes. But I have notes. I just don't like reading notes. I feel like I sound too reedy. But just what a year, Jalen Johnson. You feel like he's got to be, like I said, in the conversation, definitely to be an all-star, and for sure got to be talked about at least as the most improved player. DeAndre Hunter, the way he's playing, he keeps that up. I think he's got a decent chance of being an all-star. Just Charles Barkley saying last night, he better be an all-star. And you're saying he could be an all-star. I didn't say it like that. But I thought that was really cool to hear that from Charles Barkley. Shaq's kind of becoming a Hawks fan on there. Fun to see him call. Cuckoo! Cuckoo! And then you get DeAndre Hunter. You got to think he's in the conversation right now for 6th man of the year. I mean, how could he not be? He's putting up starter-level points coming off the bench. But it's a long season, though. We're still early on. We're only 26 games into an 82, hopefully 83-game season. Because the Hawks do get that extra game if they can beat the Bucks in Las Vegas on Saturday afternoon in the semifinals of this NBA Cup, the second ever NBA Cup. And yeah, it's just an in-season tournament. Not the same as getting to the semifinals of the NBA. But we got there once. NBA playoffs. We were in the conference championship. Not able to come through. But I don't know. This team, man, like the way we're playing against teams that are supposed to be the best in the East. We beat the Celtics in Boston without Trae Young. We beat the Cavaliers 2 games in a row. One in Cleveland, one in Atlanta. We beat the Bucks comfortably at home not too long ago. Not in their home not too long ago. And now we got a chance to take down those same Bucks. To say, Dame time, not today, y'all. Giannis, go get freaky somewhere else in Vegas because the Hawks are going to the finals, hopefully. It's a very real possibility. It'd be a great statement. Just build confidence for this team going down the stretch. Didn't do anything for the Lakers last year, really playoff-wise, but out of this Hawks team, they got a lot to build on. A lot of young guys. You got Ricochet just doing his thing, and a lot of room for growth there. And then you got Jalen Johnson. Seems like he just gets better and better. DeAndre Hunter showing why I have a lot of times been hesitant to really give up and trade him, because this is what I thought might start happening. Showing just what he is capable of when he gets it going. Like, just shooting with much more confidence than you used to seeing with him. And it's a beautiful thing, and you'll love to see it. We've talked all this time. We've barely talked about Trae Young. Kind of a quiet start to this game. There in the third quarter, the Hawks were down 66-62. Trae Young going off, y'all. Trying to find hits 8 straight points. Then DeAndre Hunter comes along, adds a 3. Hawks on an 11-0 run. It's part of that run. They take their first lead of the game. So it's ever since the start. Hawks were in a hole early on. It was 3-0 right away. And it was 11-2 right away. But even when they were not shooting great, the Hawks, thanks to their defense, the disruption they were causing against this Knicks team, led to a lot of turnovers. Led to a lot of Hawks points. As the game went on, the Hawks got better and better at rebounding the ball. They had 22 total offensive rebounds, 14 of those in the second half. So just like giving themselves those opportunities. Because there's going to be games where people just miss a lot of shots. You know what? Eventually you start hitting shots. So just keep giving yourself more opportunities. Keep taking opportunities from the other team. And that's how you come back again. That's how you win big games. And talked about, Trae Young ends up with 22 points, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds plus a steal. How about 5 rebounds? That's some hustle out there from Trae Young. Smallest guy on the court almost all the time. But that doesn't stop him from getting on the boards, getting some more shots. Ends up only 2 of 8 for 3. Hits all 4 of his free throws. 8 of 22, so not an overall great shooting night. But he found ways to keep feeding his teammates. And when the shots came, the shots came. That's the thing with Trae Young. It's going to happen eventually. He's going to score 40 probably at least twice this year. But we don't need him to every time. And I think that is just great for Trae. Because it doesn't feel like the pressure is all on him. Because he's got support. I know how that can feel. When your work environment, you're feeling more support. You feel like it's not all on you. Kind of decreases the stress somewhat. And one thing that decreases the stress for the Hawks and Trae Young, but increases the stress for everybody else that we're playing, everyone we're going up against, Dyson goddamn Daniels. And you look at Dyson Daniels' stats for this game, and they're not overly impressive. 9 points. Hit his only 3-pointer. 4 of 10 overall. 5 rebounds. That's okay. But, 5 offensive rebounds. 7 total rebounds. So, pretty decent, Only a point plus 3 rebounds away from a double-double. Only 3 assists. The really rare 0 steal game, I had to look this up. Dyson Daniels had 9 straight games with at least 1 steal. Most games this year, he has had a steal. He's leading the league in deflections by a lot. Blocking shots. Because he did block a shot in this. Or blocked 2 shots in this game. So no steals. We did block a couple shots. And more importantly, He held Jalen Brunson, one of the best point guards in the NBA, one of the hottest shooters most of the time in the NBA. At home, he held him to only 14 points. That's the second worst scoring game of the season for Jalen Brunson. And that's Dyson Daniels doing that. Talk about DeAndre Hunter, 6th man of the year. Jalen Johnson, most improved player. You just got to, even more so, put Dyson Daniels in the conversation for the defensive player of the year. The only thing going against him is the Hawks' overall team defense, but it feels like his defense is rubbing off on these guys. See Jalen Johnson being disruptive, a couple steals. Trae Young had a steal. Onyeka Okongwu had a steal and a block coming off the bench. Bogey, not a great shooting game whatsoever, but he did have a steal and a block, a couple rebounds, couple assists. Rough shooting night, though, 1 of 7 from 3. Okongwu, 6 of 10 from the field for 12 points, had 11 rebounds to go along with the steal and the block. Clint Capella, also a double-double. So you've got 4 Hawks in this game with double-doubles. Jalen Johnson, Clint Capella, 13 rebounds, 11 points. Trae Young did it with 11 assists, 22 points. Then Onyeka Okongwu off the bench, double-double. And like I said, him and Capella's points aren't necessarily going to blow you away, but they're hitting their shots more consistently. Between the two of them, they're 11 of 18. So they're not missing a lot of shots, other than Okongwu missing both of his free throws. Not going to see that a lot, but good to see them getting opportunities. Those rebounds are just key. Because if you get on either side of the ball, offensive rebound, you're giving your guys more opportunities to hit shots. Because sometimes you're not going to hit shots. The NBA is a tough place to play basketball, they say. And then on defensive rebounds, you are taking those extra shots away. And that's how the Hawks won this game. They took more shots. Like, neither team shot great. I already mentioned that earlier. But overall, the Hawks took 104 shots to only 93 for the Knicks. So they took 11 more shots and only with 3 more misses. And with 3 more makes. So not great numbers, but the key is it's a numbers game. You got to just keep putting shots up. At the end of the day, if you you give yourself the opportunity to take more shots than your opponent, you're giving yourselves a damn good chance to win. And that's just how it is. Like, yeah, it's great to, have it shoot 50%, 60% every game, but that's just not realistic. That's not going to happen all the time. But what you can control is giving yourself those extra chances, those extra opportunities, and taking them away from the other team. So the Hawks getting it done in this game, winning it in the paint, out-rebounding the Knicks 58-49, including 22-12 on offensive rebounds, 20-10 when it comes to fast break points, 66-54 when it comes to those points in the paint. And just thought, this is a Hawks team in this game. They were down double digits multiple times, and they never gave up. They kept fighting. They kept scrambling for rebounds. That kept getting the job done. And this team's got a lot of fun to watch. And felt pretty good about this team. I went to the opening game of the season this year, and from the start, you could just tell something a little different about this team. Everybody talking about how terrible the DeJounte Murray trade was for the Hawks. Second guessing now, because look at what Dyson Daniels has been able to do, and even Larry Nance has been a nice little extra piece to have when you need him. Maybe allows the Hawks to either trade him or Clint Capella. Or, I guess technically Onyeka Okongwu. But I feel like you're going with a younger guy there. He's got he's the future there. He's going to have his struggles here and there. But it does feel like eventually, Clint's going to be gone and Onyeka's going to replace him. But, what Dyson Daniels is just able to do on a nightly basis, taking the defense, the toughest guarding job anybody's got in the game, and limiting someone like Jalen Brunson to 14 points at home, pretty damn good. It's not something you're going to see a lot. Jalen Brunson's a damn good point guard. The Knicks are a pretty damn good team. You look at the standings right now, they're still game and a half above the Hawks, 3 seeds ahead of the Hawks, because the Hawks, they have more and more win than the Bucks, but also one more loss. So the Hawks will pass the Bucks. The Heat are still ahead of the Hawks, which surprises me. They've won 3 in a row, despite all the Jimmy Butler talk going on around them. His agent saying that Shams is a liar, the reporter, and that he has not said all this. But it'd be interesting to see. I'm just hoping he doesn't go to Dallas. I wouldn't mind seeing Jimmy Butler in Golden State. They did lose last night against the Rockets. First time the Rockets had beat them since before COVID. It's been a rough time for the Rockets. And I've said before, the Rockets are a team to watch. Going back a couple years, you got Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason. This team, Amin Thompson. I think this is Thompson they have. Honestly, I forget which Thompson is where. I'm sorry. And Fred VanVleet just came back from injury. His shot's not as good as you'd expect from him, but he's someone who I think will turn it on and get it going. Dylan Brooks, we're not related, but honestly, that's probably how I would play basketball if I somehow managed to make it to the NBA. So maybe we're cousins. You go far enough back somewhere. And I kind of like Dylan Brooks, as a villain a little bit, but he's kind of fun to watch. And, that was a great win for the Warriors. So this weekend, we're going to have in the NBA action, NBA Cup will continue on Saturday. The Hawks, I'm kind of glad they got the early game on Saturday. They're the 4:30 game, so that means I can watch that entire game, no problem. And I might miss a few minutes of the early parts of the game because I work until 4 normally on Saturdays. Sometimes I get done a little bit early, but usually 4:30, I'll be home by 5. Normally, so I'll at least get to watch most of the game. And the Rockets and the Thunder going to be the primetime game out there in OKC. The Thunder 19-5, despite losing Chet Holmgren, still in good spirits, talking trash, getting on the socials. The Rockets 17-8 right now. You got the Hawks 14-12 against the Bucks 13-11. And then Monday. Right, yeah, Monday or Tuesday, trying to figure out. I'm still figuring out this NBA Cup. So Tuesday will be the championship. So that will be at 8:30 on ABC on Tuesday night. It'll be interesting to see ABC Tuesday game. But hey, at least I get to watch it on the TV. And I feel like we'll be watching that no matter who wins. But hopefully I'll be watching my Hawks. Hawks and Thunder, I think a fun game. That's what I'm predicting right now. I think the Hawks going to find a way to get it done. But it ain't going to be easy. You're going up against Damian Lillard, and you're going up against Giannis. You're going up against Chris Middleton back from injury. Hadn't been able to hit the shots very much, but just still a key part of that team. And then you can't forget. Who did I just forget? I said Bobby Portis, didn't I? Yeah, I said Bobby Portis. Chris Middleton, Bobby Portis. They got the guys, Not going to be easy. Going to put up a fight, but I think the Hawks going to find a way. Just because the balanced approach, the scoring of the bench. Because even though Bogey struggled in this game against the Knicks, the Hawks bench still outscored the Knicks bench by almost 30 points. 43-14. 24 points from Trae. 12 from Onyeka. 7 from Bogey. So, again, this is something that's been happening consistently. Just because you look at this team, DeAndre Hunter and Bogey would be starters for some NBA teams. I believe they could be starters. But you got those two guys coming off the bench. Onyeka Okongwu, a lot of people say, he could be a starter as well. He probably should be. He's getting that starter money. So you got 3 starter-level dudes coming off your bench. And, then the way Jalen Johnson is playing, the way Trae is distributing the ball, and it seems like his shot just kind of starts falling at just the right time. It's been fun to watch. It's nice to feel like this team has a chance. And then add on my Panther fandom. We're almost all but mathematically eliminated from this year's playoffs. But there's hope in what you see with Bryce Young. He looks like an NFL quarterback. Xavier Legette at times looks like an NFL receiver. You just start holding on to that ball. Even though he is eating raccoon for Thanksgiving, it's hilarious. You haven't seen it yet. There's a clip of Xavier Legette. He's talking to the St. Brown brothers. I forget the exact names. You know what I'm talking about, though. I don't want to try to, pronounce their names again. Amon Ra is one, and honestly, I cannot remember the other guy's name because I should look that up. And also, I realized I totally got Amon Ra St. Brown with the Lions. I got that. And then Equanimous St. Brown. with the Bears. So there's that. And then was it Ash? I gotta look up the name of the running back, the Boise State running back. I think I tried to say his name off of memory and got it totally wrong. His name is Ashton Jeanty, and he probably gonna win the Heisman. Great year. I feel like it's got to be him or Travis Hunter. Cam Ward has been really good too, but I just wanted to clarify that I totally had his name wrong. And the running back from Boise State's name is Ashton Jeanty, and I hope I know I'm at least. The pronunciation may not be right, but that's what it looks like to me. And I was trying to guess his name, and I apologize for that. For if he was listening, it was like, this dude don't even know my fucking name. But I feel like it's very unlikely he was listening. I did have 2 listens the last episode, so thank you, whoever you are. Keep listening, and I'll try to do better each and every day for each and every single one of you little Brooksters out there, brother. Yeah, that was me doing a bad improv Hulk Hogan. But anyway, hope y'all have a great time. And I hope my friend Joseph has a great trip up to the Big Apple. She'll tell him to wear up a Hawks jersey. Wear that Trae Young jersey up there. He'd be like, what are you talking about? But anyway, this is Babbling Brooks. Trying to figure out how to end the episode, as always. But tune in. Definitely going to do an episode. Do my best to do an episode on Sunday in reaction to the Hawks and Bucks semifinal game, and the other game, of course, Rockets and Thunder there in Las Vegas, City of Sin. I went there once during COVID. First time I legally bought marijuana. It was really cool buying it at a store. I got too much, though, and just had to smoke more and more. That was a cool trip. I'll tell y'all more about that Sunday. For now, this is all the Babbling Brooks you get for the day. Bless y'all and peace out.
Afraid of the big black bat. It's showtime! Woo!